With this in mind, last week 10 schools in total were asked to close on various days throughout the week as a precautionary measure to prevent any illnesses related to the smoke inhalation. As the all clear happily was given, schools indeed were able to reopen after site visits from the Division of Inspection deemed that they were safe to return to. Of course, we always have to ensure the continuity of our classes, the students' ability to perform well during the upcoming exams, especially for Sundial that was noticed. Unfortunately, as we were dealing with matters to the fires, news of another unfortunate incident reached my attention. On February 6th, Nathan York, a 12-year-old student of the Dr. Martin Luther King School, was reported missing after he left school premises following the altercation with classmates. Nathan did not make it home that afternoon, and a full-scale search was launched to find him. And he was indeed in the early mornings of February 8th. I would like to take this opportunity, therefore, to again thank the police, the VKS controls, the truancy team of the inspectorate, and the countless volunteers that I met that joined the family of Nathan and the community of Mid-Region in the search. In my capacity, and for your understanding, media, I'm not only the minister of the entire educational system, but I'm also the school board of the public schools. And this indeed alarming incident had and still has my immediate attention. The matter is being thoroughly investigated by the ministry, by the relevant staff, the school manager of the public schools, and a preliminary as well as a full report has been submitted as I demanded and requested and is currently being discussed and reviewed. I want to assure the general public, especially also the parents of the public schools, that the necessary actions will be taken to ensure that this type of situation never happens again at any of the schools of Sint Maarten. Parents should expect that when they send their children off to school every morning, that all necessary precautions will be taken to keep their child safe. In this case, there was obviously a breakdown of existing and understood procedure, and I intend, as minister and as school board for the public schools, to do everything in my capacity to ensure that something like this will not happen again. After the challenges of last week, I'm still pleased that while last week was tough for the entire government and also the Ministry of Education, Culture, Youth and Sport, that we were still able to accomplish quite a number of things. I take this opportunity to thank all the workers of the ministry who, despite the difficulty of not having full access to the government administration building, still worked from various remote locations. I am pleased to report that we were able to therefore accomplish a variety of things. First and foremost, as I've mentioned, that I take the recovery very serious, repairs have been signed off by me for the Melvert Hazel Sports Center in Soccer Garden. This indoor and outdoor sports facility suffered major damage after the passing of Irma in September. The first phase of the upcoming repairs will therefore concentrate on the building itself and the gates and the fencing of the surrounding property. In addition, I also secured and signed off the repairs for 6 different basketball courts in the various districts. And they will be handled indeed also on the Council of Ministers tomorrow for further support. These courts are located at the Leonard Connor School in Cole Bay, the Martin Luther King School in Dutch Quarter, the Sister Marie Laurent School in Middle Region, the Rupert Maynard Community Center in St. Peter's, the Sister Regina School in Simpson Bay, and the court in Belvedere by the sports field. All the works will be executed through our National Sports Institute, who will oversee the projects and the repairs, with funds will be made available through the incidental subsidy. These 6 courts provide a location for youth to engage in play in their local communities. With the repairs of these basketball courts, such as Melvert Hazel, we are one step closer to indeed feeling of the new normal for families. In addition, I've also been approached via social media about concerns in other areas or related indeed to the hotel industry and the ongoing court case. I do believe in social corporate responsibility, and my vision is one where all businesses, but also indeed the hotel and tourism sector especially, invest in sports and create opportunities such as basketball courts in areas immediately surrounding their properties. Imagine how wonderful it would be if, for instance, in the Fort William area, we have friendly games between our local community and tourists alike.
To educate the people is to free them from mental bondage. A nation that is governed by injustice, inequality, and unfairness, it's against the spirit of democracy.
We will tell the people the truth, and the people will be our judge.
Hi, I am Lisa Alexander, candidate number 9 on the United St. Martin Party slate on February 26, 2018. Vote for me, Lisa Alexander, candidate number 9.
Hey guys, did you know that now with Telcel, if you accumulate $25 or more within one calendar month, you get 15 more?
15 more?
Yes, 15 more. However you want.
So I can top up $3 now, $10 next week, and so on until I reach or pass $25?
That's right. Get 15 more.
Wow! I feel like a 15 again.
Yeah. Right. Accumulate $25 or more within one calendar month and get 15 more. Telcel, when you want more.
GEBE has been faithfully serving the communities of St. Martin, powering your home and our economy. Come rain or shine, our qualified team of professionals are working hard 24 hours a day to provide you and your family with safe, reliable electricity and water. We use the latest technologies and test our products daily to maintain the highest international standards. Our friendly staff is always there to assist you, whether in person, over the phone, or online. We are committed to constantly improving our products and services, making them more efficient, effective, and environmentally friendly to serve you better today and our next generation of clients tomorrow. GEBE, powering a brighter future.
Our friend Megawati is here with tips to save you energy. 1. Turn your airco temperature up. 2. Use a ceiling fan instead. 3. Buy energy-saving products. Save some green with NVGEBE.
I want to start out with some clarification on a matter that has been in Parliament and under discussion in Parliament for quite some time now, in fact some years, and that is the draft ordinance that amends the Civil Code as far as labor contracts are concerned. This amendment is one that establishes a new book in the Civil Code for labor. We are nearly through with the handling of this draft amendment to the Civil Code as presented by the government of St. Martin and the Minister of Labor in particular. What we have received as Parliament as this amendment is the sum of consensus as arrived at between the Minister and the social partners. The last meeting, unfortunately, the last public meeting on this matter, unfortunately, did not continue because of the lack of a quorum. As you would recall, there were members of the opposition in Parliament. However, they chose not to sign into the meeting, and thus the meeting could not have gone ahead. However, the arguments that are being presented by the opposition for not participating in this meeting are not true. The argument that I've heard from members of the opposition and members in Parliament is that actually we're dealing with an initiative draft law from the NA faction, but because this initiative has been watered down to what is now the amendment to the Civil Code, this faction in Parliament is not supporting the changes to the Civil Code. I mentioned that that is not correct, and the draft amendment to the Civil Code that we have now before us is one presented by the government. It is not an initiative draft law that was adjusted by the government, but rather the draft law presented by the government to change the civil code, and several changes, as you know, have been made, one of them being to reduce the time for short-term contracts to 2 years. That is but one of the changes, and a very important one, by the way, in the civil code. What has happened is that several years ago, the NA faction presented a change to the civil code as an initiative draft law that would have then required a sort of a permit system to be introduced, and that was, in their view, a way to curtail short-term contracts. From the elucidation that we have received from the government with this law, with this change to the civil code, it's apparent that discussions had taken place with the initiators, so the NA faction, of their initiative, but that at the end of the day, the government submitted a draft that we have in front of us right now. This draft, as I mentioned, is a consensus document between the social partners, and it forms part of a much larger approach to the labor market on St. Martin. So there are several other aspects that will come to Parliament's floor as far as labor is concerned. As I mentioned during one of the meetings pertaining to this change to the civil code, while dealing with the matter of labor contracts remains important in terms of preventing abuse of short-term contracts. However, right now, I believe there are other labor-related matters that have more priority, and I think of the unemployment situation that we have right now on St. Martin, securing jobs for persons from St. Martin. These are matters that, in my, and I can say our opinion, deserve immediate attention by government, and whatever necessary legislation needs to be put in place, these would be priorities for the Parliament of St. Martin.
To educate the people is to free them from mental bondage. A nation that is governed by injustice, inequality, and unfairness, it's against the spirit of democracy.
We will tell the people the truth, and the people will be our judge.
Hi, I am Lisa Alexander, candidate number 9 on the United St. Martin Party slate on February 26, 2018. Vote for me, Lisa Alexander, candidate number 9.
People all across St. Martin are switching to a more rewarding experience. The WIB MasterCard Fun Miles credit card, better known as My Card. Earn 1 fun mile for every $2 spent, even abroad and online. This will quickly get you a ton of fun miles to redeem for travel, shopping, food, fuel, and much more. But there's more to My Card. Worldwide acceptance, an EMV chip for extra security, and 250 free fun miles with first use. Switch to My Card today at WIB.
Fun miles, fun within your reach.
Hey guys, did you know that now with Telcel, if you accumulate $25 or more within 1 calendar month, you get 15 more?
15 more?
Yes, 15 more. However you want.
So I can top up $3 now, $10 next week, and so on until I reach or pass $25?
That's right. Get 15 more.
Wow! I feel like a 15 again.
Yeah. Right. Accumulate $25 or more within one calendar month and get 15 more. Telcel, when you want more.
Monday, February 26th is our parliamentary election, and polling stations open from 8 a.m. until 8 p.m. When you enter your polling station, you must check in. Eligible voters must come with your voting card, an identification card, passport, or driver's license in order to vote. Once verified, the chairman will give you your ballot. The voter goes directly to the voting booth that is not occupied and votes by coloring the white circle with the red pencil in front of the name of the candidate of choice. Use only the red pencil. Vote for only one person, and don't write or draw on the ballot. If you make a mistake, return to the chairperson and ask for a new ballot. This can only be done once. You are prohibited from selling your vote, using a cell phone, and taking video and photos. When you have finished voting, fold the ballot and proceed to the ballot box, where you will insert your ballot. Exercise your right. Go out and vote.
For us, as the anti-poverty platform and Consumers Coalition, it is very important getting the commitment from especially the political parties in what they are going to do in the next 4 years. Yes, we need to acknowledge the fact also that from the USP party, there were 5 members from the USP that came and sat with us to gain knowledge on the issue of eradication of poverty and human rights. We sat also with one member of the the UD party, who also shared his concern and who's, as he explained, very passionate about the situation. But what we find that is lacking, and I need to say, that the St. Martin Christian Party has been the only political party that to date has signed the Declaration on Eradication for Poverty. And I got to also acknowledge the fact that being a part of that political party, that was one of my conditions. Otherwise, there's no politics with the well-being of the people. So that's my condition that I put forward to the party. We're going to work towards eradication of poverty on St. Martin. Sad. People are talking about solely, and you can see the economic, the emphasis being put on the economic factor, but people are not looking at them jointly, whereby we got to bring people out of poverty. And you know, I would like to remind the general public of this commercial here, where St. Martin don't deserve this, as this, the leader of the United Democrats, Theo Heiliger, is explaining to people that St. Martin does not deserve this. But he's the cause also of the dump being on fire. He's the cause that we have a dump. He sat in government for over 25 years and done nothing. And he's also responsible for the health conditions of the people that's being destroyed because of the dump, because he's not getting his way with the dump, because he had a proposal that other parties did not go along with. Then the NA came and they put a proposal. Then the DP also had their proposal. Now Mr. Christopher Emmanuel have another proposal on the table, while the people of St. Martin are suffering, while the people of St. Martin are living in poverty, and their concern is to get to the dump, because their concern is about getting into the garbage business, because there's big money in the garbage business. You talk about the nice fancy things, but this gentleman, this good gentleman here, never talks about putting food on people's table. You talk about St. Martin people needing jobs, but he doesn't look about that it is better if St. Martin people can do some kind of business and also get good paying job, profession here in this country. What about, I would like to ask him if he's so concerned about the need of the people. He promised them 20 years ago, over 20 years ago, I think in 98, that he had the key for opening Mullet Bay. Where is Mullet Bay today? I'm asking Mr. Heiliger, had you worked on Mullet Bay, a lot of people would have been employed today, but you have not. You're hiding up behind the need, and you're playing with the sentiment of the people, but not really addressing the true need. You understand me? You don't care about the living condition of the people. All you're looking for is for business. All you're looking for is for you, your family, and cronies to get the business benefits, and the people live in without roof. Why aren't you concerned that the people of St. Martin have roof on their head? Why aren't you concerned you're good in giving out bags at school? Why aren't you concerned taking food vouchers to the school? Then I will respect you. I will say that now you're not playing politics, but you care about people's condition. You understand? But no, that has not been your concern, because your concern is not with the St. Martin people, but your concern is for your enrichment. This good gentleman is also part of the problem, because he been there all the time. Now he's talking about bringing minimum wage to $1,000. Now he's talking about also reducing the turnover tax, etc. And building, I think, maybe 500 houses. You have not done anything all those years you've been in government. You have not championed for eradication of poverty. Why? Because both you and this gentleman and the National Alliance and Sarah Westcott of the DP party, you all get all your money from the casinos and the businesses, and so you all does not champion the true cause of the people of St. Martin. You all are not going to eradicate poverty, because you know you're going to get a phone call from the businesses that will tell you, take the deal off of the table. You're not going to increase from a minimum wage to a livable wage, etc., because you know you're all gonna get a phone call from the people. We got to stop fooling the people of St. Martin with this political ploy that we're going to build 500 homes, playing with their sentiment, because all of you know that is not true. And I would like to also state that for the past, since 10-10-10, the government, we had 3 Sarah Westcott government that could have helped, because she held the portfolios of VSR, which is social development. And exactly, poverty is an issue, exactly her portfolio, her ministers, and nothing was done. So people were kept in poverty because the Democratic Party of St. Martin have never managed its portfolio to lift people out of poverty, but to keep them. Why? For mere political reasons. So she been 3-time prime minister, and nothing was done. She been in all 6 or 7 governments. Every government falling, going, coming, etc. The DP with Sarah Westcott has been part of the government. So in conclusion, I will say, if you are sick and tired with the situation because of William Marlin, Theo Heilige with his fancy commercial, because by the way, it costs you about $1,500. I can imagine how many folks can get a plate of food where this is concerned. Okay? How many folks will get a plate of food where this is concerned? You understand?
It's been said that behind every door, possibility awaits. How much possibility depends on which door you open first. Every day, we help our customers discover the possibilities in their lives. It all starts with a conversation. Scotiabank. Discover what's possible.
Monday, February 26th is our parliamentary election, and polling stations open from 8 a.m. until 8 p.m. When you enter your polling station, you must check in. Eligible voters must come with your voting card, an identification card, passport, or driver's license in order to vote. Once verified, the chairman will give you your ballot. The voter goes directly to the voting booth that is not occupied and votes by coloring the white circle with the red pencil in front of the name of the candidate of choice. Use only the red pencil. Vote for only one person, and don't write or draw on the ballot. If you make a mistake, return to the chairperson and ask for a new ballot. This can only be done once. You are prohibited from selling your vote, using a cell phone, and taking video and photos. When you have finished voting, fold the ballot and proceed to the ballot box, where you will insert your ballot. Exercise your right. Go out and vote.
insurance for the police officers was signed off yesterday and will be on the Council of Ministers in tomorrow's meeting. And then after that, it will be paid. I'm not one to, of course, say something and not act on it. I speak less, I listen more, but I make sure that my actions speak louder than my words. So make sure everyone takes notice that the police insurance will be paid. It has been signed off, and it will be in the Council of Ministers meeting tomorrow. I've also had some meetings with the prison management as well, and there are definitely some issues that are what I consider hot potatoes, because the issue of our inmates who are either housed in Curacao or in the Netherlands also have the right to vote. That is a major concern to me, because we do not want to trample on their democratic right or their human rights. And in my discussion with the Prime Minister, as well as it was also mentioned to Mr. Rogers, this issue needs to be looked into, and we're going to find a solution as soon as possible. In addition to that, individuals who are admitted into the St. Martin Medical Center have not been allowed to vote in the past. That's an issue that also has my concern, because again, these rights, I believe, have to be protected, and we are trying to find a solution to this as well. There was an incident on Sunday that I was personally involved with, and I like to bring it up because if it can happen to me, I believe it can happen to anyone else. A friend of mine called me about not being able to get through to 911, and her baby at the time was turning blue, and asked if I could please do something. I raced over to the fire department, informed them, and we were able to get the ambulance there. But of course, on the way, I myself tried calling 911 and 912, and it did not work. I have the calls recorded. I have her calls recorded. They were also sent to Mr. Carl John to address this issue immediately and to investigate what happened. Was it an incident at the police station where calls were not coming in, no one was manning the booth? Whatever it is, I need to know what it is.